Hi guys, it's Anita and Andra from Friendsheep Knits. We're based in Thun, Switzerland, how you maybe can hear from our accents. And yeah, we're here with our first podcast about our passion, knitting.
Yes, today we will share with you our plans for fall knitting. We are very excited for the upcoming fall, and also just to share with you what we have planned. So first we will talk about the plans that we already have the yarn for, that are a little bit more like concrete, and then we will go on with the plans that we really want to knit but we don't have the yarn for, and lastly we will talk about the plans or maybe more ideas or inspirations that we probably won't get to because fall isn't that long.
My first project that I've already planned out and bought the yarn for is a sweater, the Keep It Warm sweater by Yon Wali. I'm not completely sure how you pronounce it. It's knitted with lace and fingering yarn together, which makes it a DK. The suggested yarn would be a kid silk, which is the lace, and then the queen fiber merino, which obviously would be the fingering yarn. And it's knitted on a 4mm US 6. But I chose for my sweater a Lana Grossa cool wool melange, like cool wool melange. Don't know how to say that correctly. We're gonna struggle with words. I'm so sorry. It's not our forte.
It's part of the concept here.
No, so it's like I would say probably petrol, cool wool melange merino, and a natural super kid tweed mohair. And I really like about it like the mix of the speckled like mohair, which just makes it a little bit more interesting, together with this calm merino color. Yeah, so that's that.
My first plan for the fall is the Emery vest and pull. It is a vest by the designer Choi Locatelli. I don't really know how to pronounce that either. It is a vest knitted in worsted weight yarn while holding a worsted weight wool together with a silk mohair. Yes, it is knitted on a 5mm needle or a US size 8. It is a all over cabled and textured vest. I haven't really worked up that much cables and textures, so I'm really excited to learn a lot about it. I already bought the yarn to knit up that project, and it is the alpaca wool from Sandnes Garn in this like grayish, I don't know, color. Yes, I already started to make a swatch. I started first with the suggested 5mm US 8 needles, but then the gauge was way too small, and now I tried with the 5.5 needles, and it's still too small. So maybe I will try it with the 6mm needles, which sounds quite big for me, but we will try. And the problem is also I would really like to hold the alpaca wool single and not pair it with a mohair, because I just really had that vision of this like more rustic vest and not like this fluffy vest. So I would love to have it single, also because it would be way more expensive when I would pair it with a mohair. So, but I'm really not sure whether I will be able to meet gauge, but I can show you a little bit of the swatch. I hope you were able to see that. Yes. So I'm still very excited about the vest, but still not quite sure how I will achieve gauge.
So my next project is the Holmen Slipover by Petite Knit. For my goals this year, or let's say I start my year in September because for me it just makes more sense, like thinking in school years. So my goals for this year is to learn how to read patterns. Haven't done yet.
Charts. Or what do you
No,
mean?
just like patterns.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I've tried reading patterns before, but then I kind of give up and be like, in the picture looks like this. So I'm just
Do your own
doing
thing.
my own
Okay,
thing.
cool.
So
Welcome to the club.
yeah, thank you. And the thing is, I've never tried to like knit a sweater by pattern. So with like hats, you can really afford being like this. But I feel like with a lace or cabled sweater, it's going to be very difficult to just wing it and looking at the pictures. So that's what I want to learn is cables, laces, and reading patterns or like combined. So that's why I chose the slip over, which is knitted with a DK yarn together with a lace, and on Ravelry it says it's still DK together, which confused me a little bit, but I'm just gonna let it stand like that. Also, like the whole weight's so new for me, kind of. So I just believe what it says.
I think before I really like dived into this knitting world, I have never heard of these weights.
Yeah, me neither.
And first I was so confused. So sometimes I'm still like, I don't really know what's going on. And we already discussed this before. On some patterns, it says that it's like a fingering held together with a lace. It is a DK, and sometimes it is a sport, and sometimes even, I don't know, maybe a worsted. I don't know. So we just say what it says on the pattern.
Yeah, because we don't know. Well, it's knitted with, I feel like that's where it comes in handy. It's knitted with a 5mm or US 8. That's like how I orient myself. Orient. That's the wrong word. What do I mean?
You get orientation by the
needle
needle size.
Thanks, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
The yarn that I chose is actually the one I'm knitting this sweater with. It's a Tasmanian tweed, the color 09. And I really like just the foresty feeling it gives me when I look at it. I just automatically see like a dark pine forest on a mountain. So
I get that.
Right?
Maybe you have to hold it a little bit.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know whether
of
you
course.
can see it.
Well, this one is like 2 yarns held together, like the same twice. But I just want, like for the slip over, I'm just going to choose like one, this strand. I hope you can see
Perfect.
it. Thank you. Already professional.
The next project I would like to talk about is the Elisabeth Blouse by Petite Knit. I haven't bought the yarn for it yet. I would really like to go to our local yarn shop, Wheel of Wool, and buy the wool there, but I will get to that. It is a sport weight sweater. It is knitted on 4mm needles or on US 7. Petite Knit, she suggests like a whole lot of yarns, and she offers 2 options. Either you can pair 2 strands together and probably a merino and a lace, like a silk mohair, or like the second option is to only hold one. I would like to choose the second option and only knit it up in 1 strand. I'm really excited about a deep petroleum color and would like to knit it up like that. So I'm eager to see what my local yarn shop offers in that like color range. Yes.
So my next project that I'm probably going to do at the same time that I'm knitting maybe the Keep It Warm sweater or the slip over is the Olso Hat, because I think it's so good to always have, like next to the bigger projects, to have a smaller one, like an accessoire, just something to take on train or wherever you go, in the lectures when you're a student or boring meetings. I'm sure everyone knows what I mean. So it's the Olso Hat by Petite Knit. As I said, it's knitted 2 finger weights hold together, so it's a DK. They suggest like the Sundays Garn Sunday from Petite Knit together with a Filocolana Arvetta, but I'm gonna use an alpaca Ul Sundays Garn. Also in the color petrol. It's this one. I bought this in a small shop in the east of Switzerland. It's called Wollust. It's a very, very nice shop. So if you're Swiss-based or German, definitely gonna check it out. It's so beautifully, like the interior and just the way they present the yarn. It's just so pleasing to the eye. So if you're close by, you should definitely go there.
She also has an Instagram account.
Yeah, and she also has a website, and I think you can also order yarn there as well. So the needles they use or suggest in the pattern is a 3.5 millimeters or US 4, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think I used the 4 millimeters when I swatched it. I'm gonna do that. Also, with the same yarn, I want to do fingerless gloves or mitts that, you know, suit the hat, so I can style it better. But I'm not going to use a pattern for that because I think it's easy enough to do that. But I want to do 2x2 ribbed.
Yeah, nice.
That's cool.
This morning I discovered that I really need to knit mittens as well because it's getting chillier here in Switzerland, and I often have like very cold hands while driving because the steering wheel gets so cold. And last year I already wanted to knit some mittens, but I didn't. So I really have to do that as well sometime. I have not really planned it yet, and it's also not gonna, I won't speak about it in this video, but it just popped in my head, so I have to do that as well. So, okay, my next plan is the Chantal Sweater by Moreca Knits. It is a sport weight sweater holding double, a fingering weight and a lace weight. Yes, and it is knitted on a 4.5 millimeter needle or US 7. The suggested yarn is the Gepard yarn, Wild and Soft, or held together with the Gepard Ozetta. And I would really like to use this yarn. I have never used it, and I'm really like eager to try. I know that the Wild and Soft yarn is a blend between like merino and silk, and so somehow I'm very like, yeah, curious. So I would like to knit it either in a very dark gray or a dark green. I just like saw the sample photos on her Ravelry page and I just really like the darker sample knit. So I am very excited to knit it up. It is also a saddle shoulder construction, which I have never tried, and I just think it makes such a nice shape where like it somehow, I think it looks very good on the shoulder because there is no like seam or anything. So I'm also excited to try that out. And I also saw in the knitting podcast of Those Twins Who Knit, I can really recommend the knitting podcast. Jessica just finished her sample of the Chantal Sweater, and she just really liked the construction and said that a lot of thought went into it. So I'm very looking forward to the Chantal Sweater.
My last project that I have where I've already bought the yarn is
you have so many more projects where you have like the yarn for, so it's a little mixed up.
Well, it makes sense because I buy yarn without thinking at all. And they're like, what I'm gonna do with this yarn? Well, you are more the planner.
Yeah, that's true. I will only buy the yarn when I know that is the next sweater I'm gonna knit, and then I buy the yarn for it because I can't like, how you say, like I'm unpredictable. I never know what I want to make like the next sweater.
The next thing I'm gonna knit is a present or a gift actually. And they're called Riihi Socks by Ronja Hakaletto. It's knitted on a fingering yarn on 3 millimeter needles or 2.5 US. But actually I'm not gonna buy or read the pattern. I'm just mentioning it so she gets credit because I'm just gonna copy the coloring work. And I'm gonna knit it with Knitting for Olives merino fingering yarn. The first color I'm going to use is the soft peach. Then we have the autumn, because fall, you know, makes sense, and plum clay, which I really like. This cold, stony, I don't know, dusty.
It's almost violet.
Yeah.
I love the color because it's so like undefinable. Is that a word? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it and it's not just like, oh, that's a green. Oh, that's a
brown, whatever.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, what are you? The naming is very good. I don't know whether I could name the color.
Exactly. So well done, Knitting for Olive. Well done. Well, the only thing with Knitting for Olive, because I just bought like random yarns that I saw on the website that I thought I might like. So that's why I'm going to make socks out of them. Because, I mean, they don't have nylon in it. So, yeah, that maybe doesn't work very well. So I probably have to do the heels and the toes with sock yarn, so it doesn't break too fast. But yeah, I just bought a few skeins of yarns to see the color, because I've heard it come out a little bit more dusty or washed out than they are on the website, and I have to say that's true. Like, I was a little bit disappointed when I bought the Dusty Artichoke.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I hoped it would be more minty, maybe something like I'm wearing right now, but it turned out almost like gray, and yeah, that's too pale for me to wear, actually. So that was sad. But other than that, we love Knitting for Olive.
Okay, my next sweater, or my next plan, is the Zipper Sweater Light from Petite Knit. It is a DK weight pattern knitted on 4mm needles or US 6. It is suggesting to use the Peer Gynt yarn by Sandnes Garn. And I thought to knit it up in a dark gray. And I really would like to incorporate a color work pattern, or how would you say? Color work in front. But I'm not really sure how well that will be adjustable, because there is the zipper coming down, and then I would like to have the color work in the bust area, and then there's a raglan coming down, and also at some point you would join in the round, and I don't really see where that would be, and whether I would want the color work area to be finished by that or not. So I'm really not sure how easy or hard that would be to knit up. But I think it would be a very nice idea to have a very basic piece. But I mean, just a dark gray sweater. I think it could be a little bit boring, maybe. I don't know. So I thought about that color work idea. I also saw a sweater by Sandnes Garn, where they have very big stripes, in this direction, but also in this direction. And it is worked where you have just you work the stripes as you go, and then you do duplicate stitch to do these stripes. And I thought that is gonna be that would be very cool on the zipper sweater, to have a special touch to it. But I thought maybe it would be there would be going on too much. So maybe I will take that and the idea and just use it for another sweater. I thought maybe I think it's called the Lake Sweater by Ozetta. I think maybe this color work idea would work better on a simpler sweater. And so I would do the other more zigzag color work, which I talked about before, I would do on the zipper sweater. Yeah, but I'm a little bit worried it won't work out, but maybe that would be great. Yes.
I'm very curious how it's gonna be.
Yes, I think I would really have to plan out very detailed, and probably plan every stitch. Yeah, we will see whether that comes to life or not.
My next project I'm really looking forward to. This is actually the thing I really want to make. I mean, I want to make all of them, but this is the one I love to think about. Is the One Way or Another sweater by Knit. And if you don't know Knit, you have to check it out. She's a Copenhagen-based designer, and her colors she uses and her patterns are so vibrant and joyful, and just so much life in them, and also a little bit more risky. It really takes away this preconception of knitting is boring or just for grandmas, because she's so creative.
She really is.
But
I didn't know her before, and you like showed me.
yeah,
She's so cool.
the One Way or Another sweater is a brioche knitted sweater, and I want to actually make two of them. The first one I'm going to do brioche just with one color. It's mohair lace, like mohair silk, the lace, and then the fingering would be a merino, and I want to choose Knitting for Olives unicorn color. But again, I'm a little bit scared that it might be a little bit too washed out. But I really love just this pinkish lilac color. It looks so pretty to me, especially on the website. It's knitted on a 4.5 millimeter US 7 needles. So that would be the plain one. And the other one, I want to do color work, or like a two color brioche, I think it's called. And I tried, I made like a swatch. But guys, I'm struggling here because it was like fine when I did it wrong, the brioche color. And then I realized that I'm doing it wrong. Well, actually you realized that I was doing it wrong. So I watched the tutorial again. I'm probably gonna link it because it's a really good tutorial. Don't know the name anymore. But it slants to the right side. Can you see like the difference between this one, which I did wrong, to this? I mean, it looks so pretty, but
it's leaning so much.
It's leaning so much. So I have to figure out my mistake here first before I'm gonna start this one. But I'm so looking forward to it, and it might be a winter project or a next year project. But that's fine. Also, I'm not sure, like, because this one is brioche as well, so I'm not sure how much I want to do so many brioche projects. So probably it's gonna be fine if I'm not get around it this year. But yeah, just really love the pattern. Love the cables in the middle as well. It's just so nice, and I can't wait to start and can't wait to wear it as well.
Yes, I'm really curious about the like two color brioche.
Yeah, me too.
That would be
Also,
so cool.
I'm wondering if you can do it so you can like just wear it inside out.
I think you can.
Yeah, that would be amazing. If I do it like with the seams, I don't know.
When you can like weave in the ends like really good.
Yeah. So if you know anything about this, guys, please write it in the comments. We have no idea, obviously. But that would be amazing.
Yeah. My next project is the Woodlark Sweater Solo by Lene Holm Samsø. I don't really know how to pronounce that. It is a sport weight pattern, and it is knitted on 4 millimeter needles or US 6. It is a very nice sweater, I think, because it is not all textured, but it is like from the bust area. I think it's like just above the bust. It's all textured, like with this zigzag texture. I said a lot of texture. Yes, and the recommended yarn is the Isigir Tweed. And I would really like to try out the Isigir brand. I have never done that. But a lot of the colors that are available to me from Isigir Tweed are very on the warm side. And even if I really, really like these colors, they don't really suit me. I learned, sadly. We did like a color analysis together, like a professional one. So maybe we can share a little bit more about that on another day. But yes, I'm really not sure in which color I would knit it, but I'm really excited about it.
So the last sweater I've planned for this fall is the Aegyo Sweater by Aegyo Knit. It's knitted with a bulky yarn, which I'm sure is nice after all this DK and fingering lace that I've planned before. So it's kind of like the dessert, like before Christmas. That's very optimistic that I'm gonna finish all these projects.
You can dream.
I can dream. Let me dream, please. So it's not knitted on a 6 millimeter needle, which would make it a 10 US. So I don't know the color yet, but again, I just really like how big it looks and the cables. After this fall, I really want to be so good in knitting cables and reading patterns. I also tried to mix it up a little bit. So I do like the pastel color that she used for the pattern, or they used for the pattern. But I thought about making it in a dusty mint. I don't know which yarn I'm gonna use or which brand yet. But yeah, it would be nice to test out new ones, different ones. Because I feel like I often buy Lana Grossa, which is great, but it would be nice to try something more different.
Yeah. In stores, there is like Lana Grossa and long yarns.
Yeah, that's
And
like the two things you can buy here, honestly. Yeah. Nothing like hip as like Knitting for Olive or Sunless Yarn or
or Isiger.
Or Isiger, which is like the other one we saw, the Chaos yarn.
Chaos. I don't know how it's. Yeah, it's Chaos.
Chaos.
It's also a Danish brand, and they just have so bright colors. I'm gonna talk about it later.
Yeah,
I love them.
Yes.
I have never tried them, so I just love the colors. I can't speak for the yarn.
It was like, we were like in a city. We were like in Germany, and then we went to Konstanz, and we want to see like. Go into a yarn shop that has Knitting for Olive and Chaos and all those. And for whatever reason, we didn't look at the opening
hours.
Yeah, that's so untypical us. Well, untypical her.
Yeah, untypical me. Yeah, I was like really irritated by me. I was like, how did we like...
I would just stood there, like pressing our faces. You might see still our faces. Printed on the glass because we pressed it like on the nose. Yeah, and like the tears going down.
I was really sad. Actually, what the saddest thing about it was that it was open in the morning, and we just were like really, I don't know, we were just like getting up and slowly making coffee and making breakfast and stuff like that, and then
watching fall videos.
Yeah, of course. And then we just like went and really slowly, and then we arrived there, and it wasn't open anymore for like, I think 2 hours already. They were closed, but I was so disappointed. I was like, oh no, we could have been there on the same day.
Yes,
but it just
and it was closed the following day, so we didn't even get a chance to go there later.
Yeah,
another day.
I mean, we could drive there, but it's like a 3-hour drive
from here. Yeah,
it sounds like a little bit, or like for Europeans, it sounds a little bit crazy. Probably
something
people
else
from
Canada or so.
USA are like, oh, that's my local yarn store.
Yeah, exactly. That's the school. What's the problem?
No.
There? But the thing I want to say about this yarn store, they had the Chaos, they had the Knitting for Olive, they had the Sunless yarn. So that's why we were very sad, because it was there right in front of our noses. So,
but we saw that the Chaos yarn was as bright as it was on the website.
And it's pretty.
Yes. We couldn't touch it, but
we could see it at least. So now we know.
Okay, why
we digressed so far.
Why did we speak about that?
Because I don't know what yarn to use yet.
Yes, and you want to branch out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Okay. My next plan, it's not that certain anymore. I'm like transferring in the more like inspiration part of my plans. And it is the Cloud Sweater by Petite as well. And sorry for like mentioning her that much. I really try to also use patterns from smaller designers, but she just has so many beautiful designs. So the Cloud Sweater is a bulky weight sweater. Actually, it is a Aran and a lace weight held together, and it is knitted on 4.5mm needles or US 7, I think. Yes, US 7. And what I love about the Cloud Sweater is it looks so comfy, of course, because it is so it's called Cloud Sweater. What do you expect? But it just looks like such a simple fit and a simple sweater that I just imagine just like grabbing it and just throwing over whatever you're wearing. I think, yeah, it's not that kind of a staple piece, but maybe a very good sweater to have in the wardrobe. So I was thinking about the suggested yarns, which is one Isiger Eco Soft or Chaos. It is also Chaos. No, Chaos yarn. Which is by Sandnes Garn. It is so like this very fluffy yarn. And I really would like to use the Esigir one, because in the cause there is actually like some percentage of polyacryl. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I will look it up, the colors that are available, because I saw with the cause yarn there are really nice colors in the green and just one red I really liked. Yeah, I will see. And in the Esigir EcoSoft, it is like a lot of basics there, the colors that are available to me. And I don't know whether I would like a very basic sweater in also a very basic color. But yeah, as I said, it's not that of a very close or nearby plan. So I have a lot of time to still think about it.
Nice. My last sweater that I've planned, I think I've said that so many times already, but yeah, my last sweater planned is number 29 by Everything I Love Knitwear.
No. My favorite things knitwear.
Okay, I don't know, it just doesn't get in my head.
No.
It's just not intuitive for me.
It's so cute. I love it.
It's the classic sweater number 9. I think a lot of people in the knitting community have, like on the planning videos, the fall planning videos, have mentioned it already. And I just really love how boxy it looks. Also, the collar is a little bit angular, and I think that's something that suits me. So I'm looking forward to to wear it, and just also to make all the cables. I think it's so fun to knit cables. I haven't thought about the yarn yet. I don't know even which color I want to use for it, but keep you updated if I get this far, actually.
Yes.
So yeah.
Another sweater I would like to knit up is actually not a pattern. I would have to like write it by myself, I guess. It is a sweater I saw on the series. How's it called? On the series Friends, and Joey wore it. It is a saddle shoulder sweater and all in 2x2 rib, and I just really like how it's like worked up. I can't say that because it's not knitted, of course. I would really like to try to knit it, and somehow I see this sweater in a like violet color. I don't really know whether I will do it or not, but it would be fun somehow. And of course I would call it Joey sweater. Or the Joey sweater.
That's way better, yeah. Have you thought about any brands of yarn you want to knit it in?
I just thought that I think it's Long Yarns. They have a really nice violet I like, which is bright or like dark enough that I'm not looking sick. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't really know.
Okay.
It's not very like thought out yet. But it would be funny somehow.
Yeah, I love that. Anywho, I think that's it for us today. And thank you so much for joining. And it was so much fun doing this podcast. I hope we're gonna do another one maybe. Let's see how torturing the whole process of editing will be. If you have any questions or ideas, please let us know in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was really fun to record this, and just like it's a little bit kind of an experiment.
Yeah.
And we're curious to see how it's turning out. So we would like to hear about your fall knitting plans, and maybe also to hear what you have been knitting while watching this.
Yes.
And we're just always looking on the lookout for new inspiration and new patterns. I actually find most patterns while watching knitting plan videos or like knitting podcasts. So it would be nice.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, and have a nice evening or morning or day.
Bye.
Bye. I was on the toilet and I looked in the mirror. Look at this little curl.
It's very cute. It's very cute.